Hi guys, very good evening to all of you. Welcome to the session for CAT 2022. Now those of you who understood or know the CAT timing actually, you might be wondering that the CAT 21, that is the CAT for this year, just got over. It got over on November 28th, that's about 3 days back. And here I am talking on a Thursday night about CAT 2022. Why am I doing it right after CAT 21? Is it too early for us? Do you need to prepare so early? Is it really that difficult that you have to prepare for an entire year? Well, these are some of the questions that I'm going to cover in the next 30 minutes. I don't want to keep the session more than 30 minutes. So in the next 30 minutes, my friends, I'm going to discuss what happens during a preparation of CAT. How do students typically prepare for CAT? What could be the possible duration? Again, keep in mind, the duration that I'm talking about depends from a student to student and their background. So I will also talk about what background students usually will require what kind of timeline. I'll give you extreme examples. I have seen students, being able to crack CAT in a month. I have seen students preparing for a year and a half also. So I have seen all kinds of students, over the last 14 years of my training experience. Well, so that's what is in store for you for the next 30 minutes. Before we go ahead, a very quick word about me. My name is Srinivas, as you can see on the screen. I am one of the trainers in BYJU'S. I have been training students for various entrance exams over the last 14 years. In fact, I am an alumnus of IIM Indore. Before that, I have done my mechanical engineering from IIT Dhanbad. Well, let's start off and try to understand what is this CAT exam preparation all about, what is the time that it takes for a student to prepare properly. Okay, so first let's understand the timeline. When do these events related to CAT actually happen? So the first thing we're going to talk about is the notification. The IIMs which conduct the CAT exam basically release officially the notification for the exam in the month of July. In fact, typically it is in the last week of July, mostly. Sometimes it could be in the first or second day, not week, first or second day of August also. But yes, that is the time when we come to know that the CAT exam is happening. Anyway, we know it's going to happen every year, right? But then officially they declare that yes, it is happening. They will talk about which day it's going to happen. They'll talk about, what is the application process and so on and so forth. Right, so that's the first thing that you have to keep in mind in your timeline. Second is the applications that start. So the notification tells you when the applications will be available for you to apply. So basically you're talking about a 20 days, 30 days gap between the announcement to the applications being open. It's a complete online process. You go to the website of CAT IIM and then you apply there for various programs that you want through the CAT application form. It will usually be, it will be available within about a week, 2 weeks from the time of your notification coming out. So August, September, 2 months, usually they give time. They also extend, it's been there for some time where they say, okay, we are extending it by 3 days, we are extending it by 2 days, but usually it's a 2-month timeline that they look at, and well, the applications close by September. Now, date of exam, while I say they will announce, to be very honest, they don't have to announce. The reason is very simple. It's always been the last Sunday of November. Now, don't ask me why last Sunday, why not the previous Sunday or the third Sunday or the fourth Sunday or the second Sunday. I really don't know. But for whatever reason, it has always been the last Sunday of November. It hasn't changed in the last so many years. One good thing about this is everybody knows this. So there will typically be no clash between exams. In fact, if I remember it right, last year there was a clash between IAFT and CAT. Both CAT already announced the date and then IAFT came ahead and they said they are also going to conduct the exam on the same day. Finally, IAFT had to postpone their exam or prepone the exam is what happened, I guess. But yeah, so this is a given. It's always on the last Sunday of November. That way, everybody is clear. And the results typically will be coming out in the month of January. There were days where January 1st they released the results. I mean, you have just partied on 31st, a new year, and then the results were out on the 1st of January. It happened in the past. But yes, usually you can expect in the first week of January the results to be out. And the calls, the results will be out, and the calls from the institute. So remember, there is a difference between the result and the call. So result tells you what is the score you got, what percentile you got, and so on and so forth. It will not tell you what calls are you going to get. The calls will be coming from individual institutes that you applied over a period of next 1 or 2 weeks, sometimes 3 weeks also. So based on your results, the results will be given to all the colleges. The colleges will start screening the students based on their criteria. And yes, over a period of time, they will start sending you emails saying that you are qualified for their second round of interviews, and going ahead and telling you the date of interview, the process for interview, and other things related to that. Okay. Well, that's basically what you're looking at, the timelines. Interviews will start, so the dates will be coming out in January, and actually the interviews will start from February, probably the first week or second week. They will continue all the way to March and even April. There have been instances where interviews started in March and continued till April for certain institutes. Okay, so you can take a broad timeline as till April. So guys, first, before understanding how to prepare, what to prepare and all of that, this is what you need to get the idea of. What is the timeline for the CAT exam? What is the timeline for the interviews? So now, in your case, if you guys are preparing for the next year's CAT, you have almost a year for the actual exam, and you have another 3 to 4 months, or probably about 3 months on top of that for the interview preparation. Now some of you might be asking me, should I prepare for the interview also along with it right now? My honest answer is you don't have to. Well, I'll tell you what part of the interview you need to prepare, but you don't have to really worry about interview preparation right now. Till your exams are done, that is the competitive exams, whether it's a CAT exam or a XAT or an IFT or SNAP, whatever exam you're writing. Till that those exams are completed, usually in the month of the first week of January, you don't have to worry about your interviews. Typically guys, I have seen students, and that's been the every year scenario. You can prepare properly for your interview within a month and a half. So if you start from the second week of January, by February mid, you'll be ready for your interviews. 1 month or 1 month, 10 days of solid preparation is more than sufficient. I mean, it's an every year story. Take my word for it. All right. Okay. I have a couple of questions coming up. Tanejam, you said you have a question, my friend, but there's no question coming your way. Well, okay. By the way, guys, you have any questions, please post it over here. I'm very happy to discuss, answer your queries. In the meantime, if you like what I'm talking over the next few minutes, do not forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, so that we get the video shown to a lot of students out there. VARC, Sumant is talking about he's being very weak in VARC. This year I had attempted CAT 2021. Sumant, do not worry, I'll talk about the preparation for English also, my friend. It's not just one area I'm going to talk about. I will briefly touch upon each one of the 3 categories for CAT. Okay, and I'll talk about what should be the plan for the next 1 year. Right? Well, so this is the timeline. So I hope you got the timelines correct. And also never miss these things. If you miss the timeline, then obviously the year is more or less gone for you. So make sure that during this application process, you do not wait till the last moment. It has happened enough number of times where students waited till the last moment and then they wanted to fill up things and then realized that they don't have the answers for few questions that have been asked. For example, they will ask you your score and then they will say the score has to be given in CGPA. And the student might be from a percentage-based system. So they don't know exactly how do we convert. It's not a direct conversion. So then you'll frantically start calling people. That is the last day. The timer is ticking for you. Evening is the deadline. And then you're trying to fill up the form. Please don't get into that kind of a scenario at all. The day the notification comes out, if you are a part of BYJU'S exam prep app, you will get the notifications anyway. Make sure that in the first 2-3 days you fill it up and finish it. It's like, one headache over. Now I'll continue with my preparation. Right? So that's my advice. I've seen enough people, enough students doing that. Right, so now the question is, do you think CAT is tough? So before we talk about preparation, how long will it take to prepare? I will first tell you or show you few questions that have come in CAT in this year as well as in the last year. And I'm going to take only 4 questions, guys. I will give you only 4 questions with a little bit of a timer for you for each question. Okay, I will talk about, Vishal is asking how to tackle DILR. Yes, Vishal, I will talk about it. If you can just hold on. I just first I want you guys to understand that the level of math, and I'm focusing only on maths for a particular reason. I'll explain the reason also in a while. But I have 4 simple questions that have actually come in CAT over the last, this year as well as the last year. Okay, so here goes the first question. I'll give you a timer also. It's only 90 seconds per question, so I will not waste too much of your time. In 90 seconds, if you have the answer, please put it across, right? So starting off with the first question, the time starts now. Think about it a little. So read the question carefully. That's 1 minute up. Anybody got an answer? Very good, Sumant. That indeed is the correct answer. Okay, guys, so the time is up. So let's take a look at how this question is supposed to be solved. And guys, this particular question is from CAT 2021. So the CAT that happened just recently. In fact, I wrote the CAT in the morning slot to analyze the paper. This particular question was in my slot, in the morning slot. And we will not use any fun day of or any tricks per se. I don't like to use the word tricks. There's no trick. It's understanding of a concept. So we will simply try to understand the question with basic maths that you have. Are we able to solve it or not? So that's what we're going to look at. First, the question, if you read correctly, is talking about 3 metals. Metal A. So I'm going to write over here. So I hope you guys can follow this. So there's a metal A, there's a metal B, and a metal C. So there are 3 metals. And they have given the ratio of the 3 metals by volume. So they are mixed with respect to their volume. So they are mixed and they have given information with respect to the volume. So A is 3 units, B is 4 units, and C is 7 units. Okay, so this is volume wise. Then they gave us one more piece of information, that is the same volume. So if you take the same volume of the 3 metals, the weight of the 3 metals for a given amount of volume is also being given to us. So this is the weight. The weight is 5, 2 and 6. So if you take the volumes as 3x, 4x and 7x, because the whole idea of ratio is you are cancelling out the common terms. So 3x, 4x and 7x can be taken as the actual volumes that they're combined in. And I can take the weight ratio as 5:2:6. So I can take it as 5y, 2y and 6y. But remember, the weight here talks about For 1 liter, for example, if I take one example, 1 liter, 5y is the weight of A. For the same liter, 2y is the weight of B. For the same liter, 6y is the weight of C. So now for 1 liter, if it is 5y, I can talk about full weight. So the quantity A, weightage, final weight, is the volume into the weight per liter. Because for 1 liter, if it is 5y, for 3x liters, how much will it be? It will be 15xy. Similarly, you will have 8xy and 42xy. So in fact, xy doesn't matter. So you'll get the ratio as 15, 8 and 42. So this is the ratio in which the 3 items are going to be present. Now the total weight is given to you as 130 kgs. So basically what they're saying is, in 130 kgs, the ratio of the weight is this. This is the ratio of the weight. So now they're asking you, what is the weight of C in 130? So the weight of C is 130 divided by the sum of the ratios into the ratio of C. If you know the basics of ratios, this is how you calculate the value of one of the items. So 130 by the sum. The sum will be 40, 50, 65 into 42, and this gives you the answer as 84. Now, if you notice, this question did not ask you too many things to calculate, but it made you think about the meaning of the ratio and how do I use it in a question. This is traditionally how the questions in CAT are formed. In fact, I told you I have written this year's CAT slot number 1. I can guarantee that there were at least about 8 or 9 questions which are only this much in length. That's it. There's nothing more than this. You have about 1 minute to 1.5 minutes of writing, that to think and then write for about 30 seconds. Writing part is not much. The calculation part is not much. The whole idea is understanding the meaning of ratios. Right? So these kind of questions are the ones that you need to prepare. Now people really think about CAT, especially when it comes to maths. CAT is very difficult, there is algebra, there is geometry. Well, yes, they are there, but almost half the paper will be like this. Why do you want to worry about things which are scary when you have half the paper which is easy? So when I'm going to talk about the preparation plan, I'm going to the reason why I picked this question is for you to understand that, look, yes, there are areas which are difficult, but first capture the easier areas. Okay, so I've come across a few answers. Yes, Sumant already gave the correct answer. Tanjeem Alam also gave the correct answer. So there is a link which has been just posted in the chat, guys. If you are interested in getting daily questions, daily dose information about CAT and other exams, please make sure that you subscribe, you click on that. It's a Telegram channel. You will keep getting, a lot of updates on a daily basis. Okay. So this is the basic answer for this particular question. So let's take one more question. I thought I'll give you 4 questions, but I will skip ahead and I'll give you only one more question rather, and then we'll continue with our lecture. I will give you, right, look at this. It's again a simple question. I'll give you a timer now for once again 1.5 minutes. Okay, and go through it. It looks lengthy, but again I'm giving you the hint, it's very easy. Your time has already started. Please read it carefully and give me an answer. Suman, that isn't the correct answer, it looks like. I mean, can you please check? Tanjeem Alam, I understand what you're asking, but I can't do that right now. You can request this to the scheduling team. Probably they'll be able to help you out with that. Okay guys, the time is up. So let's take a look at the question, what it says. Now again, it's a simple question based on time and distance. Time and distance is something that you would have done way back in probably your 7th class or 8th class, probably 6th class also. Now I'm not going to use anything else apart from the single idea that your speed into time is your distance. I'm going to use only this. I will not use any shortcuts for this. we will assume that you guys do not know anything about time and distance shortcuts. So let's try to understand what is this question all about, what are we supposed to do here. So the question says a train travelled at 1/3 of its usual speed and hence reached the destination 30 minutes after the scheduled time. Okay, so what we need to understand is normally there is a distance that the train is drawing. Now make it a habit, always time and distance, draw a simple stick diagram. So you're going from point A to point B. Okay, it is always going from point A to point B. Let us say usual speed is S, usual time is T. So what is the distance? The distance is speed into time. Simple. Now we don't know what is the speed, we don't know what is the time. So I'm just writing it as S into T. But now they are saying that the same distance, when you're covering at 1/3 of the speed, so speed is now becoming S by 3. The time taken is becoming 30 minutes more. So 30 minutes more means normally if I take T hours, now I'm taking T plus 0.5. Now why did I write 0.5? Because I am writing my speed and time in kilometers per hour and hours. So I have to convert my 30 minutes into hours. So that's 0.5. So basically I'm saying that look, these two are the same distances, which means my S into T should be equal to S by 3 into T plus 0.5. So that S will anyway get cancelled and I'll get 3T equal to T plus 0.5 or 2T is 0.5 and therefore I get directly the value for time of travel normally. Remember, what is your T? T is your normal scenario. So time is 0.25. Okay, 0.25. So basically what is that? In terms of minutes, this is hours. Remember, this is hours. So 1/4 of an hour. If you quickly do that, 1/4 of an hour is nothing but 15 minutes. All of you know this. Quarter of an hour, 1/4 is 15 minutes. Right? Now this is the first part. We use nothing else but speed into time is your distance. Now look at the next part of the question. On its return journey, remember, if it went from A to B, it will come back from B to A. So the time that it needs to take will be the same. It has to be 15 minutes of travel, provided it is going at speed S. Right? So now what is it saying? It traveled for 5 minutes at its usual speed. Now 5 minutes if I traveled at the usual speed, out of this 15 minutes, 5 minutes are traveled. So remaining is only 10 minutes for me. This much of travel is left. So what is the distance left for me? The distance left is 10 minutes into speed S. This is what I'm supposed to travel. Okay, this is what I'm supposed to travel. Now what happens? I stopped for 4 minutes. So 5 minutes I traveled, I'm wasting 4 minutes. So totally 9 minutes are over. Right? For an emergency. You're not wasting, let's say it's an emergency. The percentage by which the train must now increase its usual speed. So I cannot. So because I spent 4 minutes not moving, I cannot say that I'll continue with my normal speed. My speed has to increase now because I have to meet my schedule. So I have 10 minutes into S. This is the distance that is left. But my time available with me is only 6 minutes because 5 plus 4, 9 minutes are over. So out of 15 minutes, 9 minutes are gone. The time left for me is only 6 minutes. Now what is the new speed I want? S dash is the new speed. So basically they are saying what is the percentage of S dash, what is the increase over S. So 10 by 6 or 5 by 3 is going to be your S dash by S. So what is this percentage increase? So if you notice, 5 by 3 is equal to your S dash by S. So in percentage terms, this is 1, 2 by 3. Okay, so 1, 2 by 3, 5 by 3 is 1, 2 by 3. So the increase is 2/3. 2/3 is 67%. Now why am I not considering this one? Because one talks about the original speed. On top of it, it is 2/3. That is the logic. So the answer is option number 2. Right? Well, so this is basically how the questions come to you. Now these are questions that can be done faster also. There are slightly faster ways of doing it. Let's not worry about it. But even with your basic knowledge today, if you sit with it for some time, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes also, you will be able to solve these questions. The problem is not about whether you can solve the question or not. The problem comes to do this within about 45 seconds to 1 minute. That is where you're going to spend the remaining portion of your time actually in preparation. So I'm going to talk about the next 1 year journey. What are you going to do? Because that subject, I'm not going to teach you what is speed and time. You know that. What we are going to talk about in BYJU'S is how will you shorten the time of solving for a question you already know how to solve. I will not say that I'm going to teach you new things. Guys, remember, these are the things which you have already been taught in your school. It's a different issue if you didn't listen to it. But now it is required for you. But what we are going to definitely do is make sure that you're able to get this answer with a lot less writing, a lot less solving, and getting the answer within about 60 seconds, because that's typically what a CAT exam expects you to do. Right? So that's what I'm going to talk about and what it takes to get all of this done. So let's start with what is the time that you have right now. December 22 to November 23. That is next year is, in fact this is December 21 to November 22. Okay, so you have almost about 1 year of time, which is about 8500 hours. Okay, you're talking about 8500 hours, and I'm not saying you have to spend so much of time. That's your entire life. But what I need is something like about an hour to hour and a half per day. Okay, so guys, this is something which you need to understand. I keep saying this to all the students. Okay, the idea is very simple, guys. It's like if I say you eat daily and you work out daily, over a period of 2 months or 3 months, you're going to have the stamina or the building up of a body. But instead of doing that, if you say I will not do anything for the entire week, I'm going to stuff myself only on a Saturday and a Sunday, and I'm going to do 5 hours of gym on a Saturday and a Sunday, is it really going to help you? The idea of CAT is preparation for a marathon. You are not going for a T20 match here. Think of it like a test match. Now the reason why I say you have to start your preparation a bit early is simply because the students who feel that they are weak in a particular subject, they will require that extra 1 or 2 months. So I'll give you an example. So let us say a student is good in maths, a student is good in LRDI, but he's very weak in English. When you say weak in English, firstly you need to understand, and this applies to quite a few of you who are asking me about VARC. First thing you need to understand is, most of you who are weak in English, you don't have the habit of reading. You don't have the habit of reading. You've not read except for your textbooks, that too in the last day of your exam. I've been there, I've done that, so I know what happens. So because of this, you guys will feel, you guys will start feeling that, okay, I'm not able to understand what I'm reading, simply because the questions are not going to be straightforward in your reading comprehensions, especially your VARC section of English. So if you want to develop the habit of reading, you can't say that I will read 10 hours for 5 days and I'm going to become better at RC and its speed. It doesn't work like that. Think of the same example again. You can't say I will start practicing running for 5 days or 10 days or even 20 days and say that I'm going to run 21 kilometers or 42 kilometers in a marathon. It doesn't work like that, guys. Your preparation has to be steady for months together for you to get that stamina when you are running a marathon. Similarly, when it comes to English, and particularly for English, students keep asking this all the time, sir, how do I become fast in English? Yes, boss, there is a way to become fast in English, but it is not a shortcut. Okay, now the only thing which I'm going to talk about, which is the time-tested method for reading comprehension, is spend half an hour reading whatever you like. I will not say read papers, I will not say read Hindu, I will not say read Times of India. I will say you like Harry Potter, take up Harry Potter. You like Chetan Bhagat, take up Chetan Bhagat. Whatever book you like, first make sure that you're able to sit with a book for half an hour without feeling bored. All those of you who do not have this habit of sitting with or reading things, please get this habit first. This will take the first 2 to 3 months. Ashish, I'm talking about how to remedy that, right? Start with the habit of sitting and reading. Once you do that for about a month, 2 months, then slowly you'll graduate from an interesting topic. Because remember, you started with what you like. But CAT exam will not ask you things that you like. They don't talk about, imagine you're thinking about life as an MBA. You're going to, with aspiration saying that I'm going to earn a lot of money. I'm going to be in responsible positions. I'm going to do marketing this, finance that. And then you sit for the CAT exam and they talk about, well, life and its meaning. Why do we exist? What is the meaning of money? Why do we even have to talk about it? There's a philosophical passage that comes in front of you, the first passage in your RC. Now, are you going to sit through that without practice and be able to answer the questions? Because that is what is going to happen. They will not ask you a nice story or they're not going to give you a nice story and ask you to answer the questions based on the story. It's always about topics which you find very, very dull, very, very boring. Usually you don't discuss them about these things too much in your life. But that is what you need to prepare for. So when you start first the habit of reading for about a month or two, slowly you can then graduate from what you like to what is needed. This transition itself will take about another month and a half. So if you start your habit of reading today, that is in December, then probably by March, April, you can transition and start reading passages which actually matter. If you start with the passages like that directly right now, yes, some of you will be able to do it, there's no doubt about it, but most of you will leave it or give up English in about a week or 10 days. Okay, so my advice is first begin to love reading. Read whatever you like, but get the habit of reading. Start liking it. I have been reading every day, whether it's news, articles, every day for the last so many years of my life. It's a part and parcel of my daily routine. It's like, you wake up, you brush, you do your daily evolutions. This is a part of my life. It's become like that. You need to do it like that at least for the next 1 year. And trust me, after that, you'll not stop. As an MBA from a very good college, you will keep yourself updated, but that's the habit you need to develop, cultivate right now. That's about your VA and RC. So if you understand, this itself will take about 4 to 5 months, and I don't want you to read too much. If you want to read too much, that's fine. But my minimum requirement, sit for 30 minutes every day reading what you like. Probably do it for 2-3 months. Transition then to actual RCs or articles which are probably from business, which are from politics, which are from economics, which are from various sources, which are not typically your stories. Okay, so if you start doing this in the month of July or August, you will not have enough time to practice your proper RCs. That's one of the reasons. Those of you who are weak in English, please start this by December, worst case December end. Okay, so moving forward. So what is it CAT time that you need to prepare? Now, honestly, I'll not give you a definite 1 hour or 2 hours exact answer. It all depends on how good you already are in the subjects that you want to prepare for. But normally, assuming that you haven't prepared for CAT before, my estimate is you will require anywhere between 60 to probably about 90 minutes. So 1 to 1.5 hours every day. Guys, I don't need 5 hours. This is not an IIT JEE preparation. Please remember, you need to have consistency in this CAT exam. It is a game of consistency. It is not something that you say, okay, I did not read for the last 5 days, so let me sit with something like 6 hours today or 10 hours today. It will not work. Because in the 10 hours, almost 3 to 4 hours will be lost because your fatigue comes in after about the first 3-4 hours. The remaining is useless for you. What are you going to do? Why are you spending so much of time in a day and that too reading? Imagine you're doing RC, you're doing DI, you're doing quant, algebra, geometry. How much of it will get into your head in a 10-hour session? Okay. So the idea is take it slow, take it consistent for the next 1 year. And yeah, the time, as I said, it could be anywhere between 1 hour to 1.5 hours. Some of you who are going to start right now, 1 hour would be enough. Now, it's like this. You have a quantum of work to be done. So let's talk about 100 units of it. The simple logic which is written over here is very, very simple, guys. You have to, do 100 units of work. You do it 1 every day, it will take you 100 days. You do 5 every day, it will take you only 20 days. You do 10 every day, it will take you only 10 days. However, this is maths. In reality, it doesn't work like that. You can't say, as I said, that instead of studying 1 hour per day, I will start in the month of June, July, and I'll finish everything in 3 months. Well, the only guys who can do that are the people who prepared once already. They have gone through the rigor of LRDI. They have gone through the requirement for quant. They have sat through the boring passage of VARC once already. So it's more or less a brushing up for them, so they can do it in 3 to 4 months. But all those of you who are starting for the first time, please do not go by that. You will not be able to cover it up in 3 to 4 months. Start slowly, steadily, keep doing it for the next probably around 10 months or so. Now, one very important part in this which I'm going to talk about is the importance or the timeline. What is it that you're supposed to do over the next, I've been talking about prepare, but I did not talk about what should be the plan for it. So, yes, Ashish, reading something is something you should practice daily. This is my mantra. Whether you do maths daily or not, whether you do LRDI daily or not, I don't care. But guaranteed one thing daily is half an hour of reading. It's your birthday, I don't care, half an hour of reading. It's a day off, I don't care, half an hour of reading. Your day should not complete without reading for 30 minutes. Guys, that's a must. Yes, Vicky, we have courses for repeaters also. I will talk about it in a little. In fact, you can download the app. There is the entire information about the various courses that we have over there. The link for the app has already been mentioned there. Okay, anyway, so continuing. So let's start understanding what is this entire calendar we have and how do we divide it. So guys, the first 3 months that you can see here, Jan, Feb, March, I'm in fact discounting December also, saying that you are deciding whether to prepare or not, where to join, all that is fine. That takes about 5-10 days for you. So assuming that your preparation starts from January, my estimate is 3 months will be gone only in building your concepts. Especially those of you from non-math background, and I'm talking about maths particularly, you're going to spend a lot of time first learning how to calculate without using a calculator. Most of you from the commerce background or arts background, everything that happens, you open your phone and do a calculator. If I ask you what is 25% of 84, you need a calculator. If I ask you what is 30% of 75, you need a calculator. You are going to spend the first 2 to 3 months getting used to the fact that calculator should be thrown out. Solve everything without a calculator. I'm giving you one small example when it comes to the first 3 months. Similarly, when it comes to the side of English, those of you who are not in the habit of reading will take 2 to 3 months to get to the acceptable reading speed. Guys, typically right now, when it comes to the reading speed, if you measure yourself, if you read something, most of you are not in the habit of reading. If you read something that you like today, your speed will be anywhere between 100 to about 150 words per minute. That is something that you like, remember. Okay, if you want to go ahead and do something or read something that you don't like, which is very boring, then the speed will come down to probably about 75 to 100 words per minute, or probably even less than that. What is your target? Your target reading speed for a not interesting topic. I'm not talking about interesting, I'm talking about a topic which is boring. So that is, this speed should almost touch 200 plus words per minute. This is what you need to do. At least this is what you will try to do for the first 3 months. So I told you a small example of what will be happening in your math. I'm telling you a small example of what will be happening in your English. Similarly, it's not just learning how to calculate. I'm not saying you're going to calculate or learn multiplication division for 3 months. I'm just saying it's a small part. Other parts would be understanding the concepts, basic ratios. We're not talking about geometry. We're not talking about PNC. We're not talking about algebra. We are talking about simple percentage calculations, simple ratio calculations, getting the foundations correct. When you build a house, the foundations have to be perfect. Only then you worry about the structure later on. If your foundation is not good, then doesn't matter how good your architectural acumen is on the top, it's going to collapse. Right? So the whole idea is in the 3 months, get your grounding correct. Get your foundation perfect. Right? Now, if you notice, I did not say your syllabus is completed in 3 months. You are just getting the basics right. And now what happens after that? There will be two things which will be happening simultaneously. Your mocks will start. You can see that your mocks will start. And you will question, and I'll explain to you why mocks will start in the month of April, May, when you just finished learning the basics. I mean, your portion is not yet completed. I'll explain in a little bit why the mocks start so early. But yes, the mocks will start, and this is 100% mantra that you have to follow if you're serious about CAT. Do not push your mocks to the end. So there are few things which students say, and this will happen in your life also. Remember this. First reason why you'll push your mock for a later point is, sir, I'm not done with my preparation. I will start my mock after the preparation is complete. First thing, guys, there is nothing called as finishing your CAT syllabus. It is never going to be over. I mean, whatever you prepare, I can always give you questions that you don't know. So come out of the mindset that I will prepare everything. There's no everything. Okay, I will prepare everything and then write my mock. That's the wrong idea. Second reason why students give up mocks. Sir, I wrote 2 mocks, but I got very low score, so I'm getting demotivated. So I stopped writing, your mocks. I'll tell you why that will happen and how do you get out of that also. I'll have a next slide where I'm going to show you a couple of things. But these are the main 2 reasons why students do not give mocks at the right time. I'll explain to you what happens if you don't do that. Simultaneously, the other thing which will start off is your actual syllabus after the foundation, that is your concepts. Once the concepts are built, once you know what is the meaning of a ratio or a percentage, I can then teach you something called as time and distance, time and work. Once I know that you understand percentages, I can start talking to you about, let's say, DI, solving of DI. Once I know you can read and understand things fast, I can start talking to you about how to tackle different type of RC questions. For me to talk about RC questions, first you should understand what it is. Your speed should be good enough for you to read. And then we're going to talk about, okay, if this kind of a question comes, how do you answer it, provided you read the passage. Yes, there are different ways of answering RCs, sometimes by skimming, etc., etc. There are many ways. Let's not get into types of solving RCs, but the whole idea is, if your groundwork is ready, then we can start talking about solving the meaty parts. Similarly, if I know that you can understand proper structure, I can start training you on how to deal with LR questions, logical reasoning questions. Because at the end of the day, if you can't read fast, if you can't process fast, your LR is dead. Right? So that first 3 months will be spent there. Then the entire 6 months, the remaining 6 months, along with the mocks, you will also be talking about finishing the syllabus slowly, one after the other. And the last 2 months, October and November, this is where you will have a revision happening, because by then the syllabus will be completed. You started in Jan, remember? When I said syllabus is completed, at least you would have covered the topics which are expected to come. You will never be fully ready for CAT. Trust me, today, after so many years, I will not say I'm ready for CAT. CAT can always give me a surprise. The readiness is about how do you deal with the surprise. Right? So, given so many mocks by then, you would have given at least about 15-20 mocks by then, and you would have come across enough surprises. You are ready as far as the surprises are concerned. You are ready as far as your basics are concerned. So, October and November, you will finalize your plan of your attacking strategy, as they say. How will I tackle an English section? How will I tackle an LRDI section? How will I tackle a math section? By then, because of all this preparation, you would already know, are you good in vocab? Are you good in, let's say, reading comprehension? Are you good in vocab? Is it parajumbles you're good at? Or is it, let's say, odd parajumbles or parasummary you're good at? When it comes to RC, which type of RC are you good at? This entire information will be there because you have given enough practice questions, enough marks by then. Similarly, when it comes to maths, you will start realizing what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses. So this entire October and November, in fact, by October, you should have this my strengths and my weaknesses chart ready. Right? By October, you should say, okay, these are the topics I love. These are the topics that I hate. And the importance of that is you're going to form your strategy based on your likes and dislikes by the month of October and November. And now I'm not going to talk about your strategy right now because it's too much into the future. But I'm telling you that if you don't have it ready, you're going to have a problem to finalize your strategy. Okay? Well, then now let's look at, I told you I'll mention about why mocks are really important and why early mocks are important, right? So let me just give you an understanding of why mocks are really important. Now, this is typically what happens, guys. I'm going to explain the meaning of or what happens in mocks using a simple graph that all of you can understand. My x-axis are my months. My y-axis are my marks in mocks. Now, if you start writing your mocks from, let's say, April, this is, let's say, the origin is x-axis is April, and this point somewhere is your October. Your mock scores, if you plot, typically, I'm not saying this is going to happen to everybody, but almost I can say 90% of the students will go through this graph. Now, you will see that initially the score is slightly okay. Then as you write few mocks, in fact, when you write mocks, your score is supposed to increase. But this is what I've observed, and there's a nice logic to it also. But this is what happens. Your mock scores fall down in the first few months. After that, your mock scores will pick up. And by the time you hit your October, you will be peaking. If you do this correctly, this is the structure that you'll follow more or less. I'll tell you what happens. If you start, and I told you the two major problems with students is you start late because of whatever reason. If you start instead of April, if you start in, let's say, July or August, then remember, you do not have this much of time, but the graph will still be the same, which means this will not change for you. This will still be the same. Okay, what does it mean? It means you are starting from August and you are getting over in October or November here. So look at the graph. When it comes to November, you are at the bottom in your graphs, in your marks. That is how you are going to your CAT exam. You don't want that to happen. You want this entire graph to play out, and typically this is what happens. Students, when they start late, this is where they go to CAT. Or the second thing that will happen, some students start early. They start in the month of April itself, not in August. They'll start in April. But they see this horizon, and they see that 2-3 mocks are horrible, atrocious. They are decimated in the mocks. Then they feel dejected and they'll leave. So it's like, at the bottom when you're supposed to go up, if you continue it, you are leaving, you're quitting here. Please don't do this. Understand that when you feel like quitting, that is where, that's the turning point for you. Have that confidence and go ahead for few more mocks, you will start this thing going up. Now, very quickly, I'll explain now. I told you it's going to be a 30-minute session. It's already 50 minutes, I believe. So I will very, very quickly explain to you why this happens. Okay, it's a very, very simple logic. It's not something great. It's not something, mind-boggling. It's very, very logical and simple. See, guys, when you start here, let us say only littles. You have only this much of knowledge. You have, and same mock, because the mock time is 2 hours, whether you have full knowledge or whether you have little knowledge, 2 hours is there. You start with, let's say, a knowledge which will help you answer only 10 questions. Okay, so you sit with 2 hours, 10 questions, you solve it, happy. You got your 30 marks. Let us say this is your 30. Now, this is in April. Remember, you are slowly increasing your knowledge. Now, the knowledge is increasing, but the time is not increasing for you. The mock time is always 2 hours. So, instead of answering 10 questions, now you have knowledge which will help you answer 20 questions, 30 questions, 40 questions. When the knowledge is increasing and the time is remaining the same, what is happening is you are not calibrating, you are not able to do the solution faster, At the same time, you're not able to pick the questions quickly. See, when I said only 10 questions you know, you will not even attempt the others. But now, you'll feel like, yeah, my teacher taught me percentages, so let me try this. You went for percentages. Earlier also you went for percentages, no problem. But now, you have time and distance also available. So you'll say, okay, let me try time and distance. Then suddenly you feel, oh, geometry, I learned something about geometry, let me try geometry. So it's like you're running here, you're running there, you're trying to do this, you're trying to do that, you're trying to do too many things, and the time will never be sufficient, and that is this entire area. By then, the smart guys will realize like this is not the way it's supposed to happen. When I say smart guys, I'm not saying they're intelligent, I'm just saying that they realize their mistakes. They will then either reach out to their faculty members to help to make them understand how should they approach. Typically in the month of June, July is when I get a lot of crying students to me, that is when the students come and say, sir, nothing is happening, I can't solve, my marks are going down, what do I do? But they are the guys who will get the advice and they will continue forward and they will go forward. Now I can't say that everybody follow this because why you are doing bad in mocks depends on what your problem is. I can't say that, okay, stomachache, hey, so if you have stomachache, take this medicine directly. I need to understand why is it happening, right? Only then I can prescribe a medicine. So that is the time where you're supposed to reach out to the faculty members, not saying that wait till then, before also you can, but definitely when the mock scores are low, reach out to your faculty members, reach out to your mentors, make sure that you get proper advice on how to tackle the problem and continue your journey so that this is where you go for your actual CAT exam. Okay, now this is the exact reason why the mocks have to be started early. This journey is a must. If you don't go through this journey, most likely you will end up securing bad score in your CAT exam. I hope this basic idea is clear to you why mocks are required. Vicky, yes. Okay, so moving on. Okay, so well guys, so that's what I had in mind to talk about why should you start your preparation early. The reason is, one biggest point is start your mocks by April, but for you to start your mocks by April, your groundwork should be done in Jan, Feb, March, which means this is the right time for you to start your preparation. Now that's basically what I wanted to convince you, to tell you that it takes that much amount of time, but it's not going to be hours together every day. It's going to be few, 1.5 hours per day, every day, including a Saturday and a Sunday. Probably Sunday can be off, but 6 days, 1.5 hours per day for the next 10 months, 11 months you do, I can guarantee that 99 percentile is not going to be impossible for you. It's going to be very much achievable. Students who have done that are not the guys who come with extra brain. They are the guys who are consistent. They are the guys who put in the hard work. They are the guys who say, okay, I will watch my movie, but I am eligible. I will earn the right to watch a movie only if I do my 1 hour of preparation. I will earn every happiness or every enjoyment that I want to have. I want to go to a party, great. But then let me first do my 1.5 hours, then I will feel happy going to a party. It's like earning everything that you want to, enjoy, provided the earning is coming by doing your hard work. And hard work is only 1.5 hours. Okay, so guys, that's basically what I had in store. Now, for those of you who already wrote CAT this time and who are planning ahead, we have a detailed analysis happening on 5th December. Make sure 5th December, 2 p.m. you are there on YouTube. It's going to be a live session about the analysis for IIFT, and needless to say, morning is the time for IIFT. So 2 p.m. is going to be the analysis on the same day. So those of you who are writing CAT this year, IIFT this time, make sure that you're there on our YouTube channel. We are going to discuss in depth about the IIFT exam and its pattern. Now, for those of you who are preparing for the next year's CAT, we have various programs. The first one, in fact, if you have already downloaded the app, you can see a lot of programs there. You can choose whichever one suits you. There are programs where there are live classes. There are programs where there are recorded classes. Choose what is suitable for you. Live classes, look at the timing. If you're working, timing is not suitable, go for a recorded class. But make sure that you choose what is likable for you. Those of you who are planning on writing this year itself, TIS or ZAT, you have time for preparation. You have the entire December for your preparation. There is a special course which has been launched for students who have written this year CAT and want to give a shot at TIS and ZAT. IFT, there's hardly any time left, so that's over. SNAP, the first slot exam is on 19th. So if you want to get some extra information, some extra knowledge, some extra tips, some extra preparation, more importantly, on either ZAT, IFT is over anyway, TISNet or SNAP, please go through the course that we have launched in the app, download it, and you can give a call to our counselors. They'll help you out with it. Right? Well, guys, if you like the session, like, comment, share, subscribe, do the usual that you do on YouTube. Make sure that you keep following us. We keep doing these sessions quite regularly, and I promise not all sessions are going to be this lengthy. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you, guys. Thanks a lot for your time. I've seen that a lot of you have been patient for an hour. Let me answer quick questions. Vicky, yes, I will be teaching in the CAT batches. In fact, I'll start making the recorded videos also, and there will be live classes also. I will be a part of, for sure. All right, I don't see any other questions coming. Vicky, so you are a repeater. So this, I think, I don't know how many of you have repeated or are planning on repeating CAT. So one thing which I want to tell about this for repeaters is, guys, you already went through the rigor once. You need to understand, sit with a mentor to understand where you faltered. Your repeating itself means something has gone wrong. So you either should be in a position to analyze that yourself or sit with a mentor to understand that. Without that, there's no point doing the same mistake again. I mean, it's like saying that I am doing or learning something again and again without somebody telling me what is wrong in the thing that I'm doing. Which means I'm going to repeat the mistake again and again. I'm going to finalize the mistake. I mean, I'm going to become so perfect in making the mistake. You don't want that, right? You want it to be corrected. All right? Fine. So that's my first advice to you, Vicky. Thank you, guys. Have a good night.